Hi, it's Liz. This week I've been reading a really interesting book, and I love to read, so once in a while I'll pass on some information about books that I do read. The book I'm currently reading is called The Unemployed Millionaire by Matt Morris. I picked up a great copy. I'm not sure if this is on every one, but the copy that I have has $97 worth of downloadable CDs, and I'm excited to put them on my iPod and listen to them and enjoy them as I'm driving around in my car. In the book, he talks about his successes and how he pulled himself up from pretty much living in his car. So that may be a little more dramatic than a lot of us have, but yeah, the guy lived in his car for a while, so it's kind of interesting stuff. One of the topics that he discusses is time management, or actually not really time management, but task management. We can't really manage time. I think that's one of those things that humans have not figured out how to do yet. 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, and 365 days in a year. I haven't figured out how to stretch that out yet. But we need to learn how to use our time more wisely, especially home-based business people. It's different when you're in an office and somebody might be looking over your shoulder. You kind of have a little more accountability. When you are home-based, you're calling the shots. And if you're not the kind of person to set yourself out on a schedule of tasks and keep to it until they're done, you could find that a lot of your day fritters away and all of a sudden you didn't really get much done. And if that's your case, you're going to see that your level of success is going to drop off, and your movement toward the dreams and goals that you're setting for yourself is going to be much slower than if you took the time to plan out your day. If you love to be on the internet, which, I think more and more people are falling prey to the addiction of the internet. I have to admit I'm one of them. I do like to do crazy stuff like look at YouTube videos of Pomeranians. I love Pomeranians, so I'll get on there and look at dogs at night sometimes. But while I'm doing that, I have my headphones on and I'm listening to a webinar. Maybe not something that I necessarily need to take notes on, something that I've already heard, but I need to hear it again, get some more information from it. I try to double up. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have downtime and have fun. Absolutely do it. But really rethink what you're doing. If you're spending 20 minutes a day on Farmville and you're doing nothing other than that, maybe you could do that. And there's nothing wrong with Farmville. I think it has a bad rep out there. I like it. It's kind of fun. And I actually meet some really fun folks on there, so it's not necessarily a bad thing if you're into social media. But anyway, if you're playing Farmville for 2 or 3 hours a day and you really could be writing an article or doing a video, you got to rethink what you're doing. What I do, again, is play Farmville and perhaps have a conversation with my son. Sometimes your kids need your attention. And or maybe listen to, again, to a webinar that I've already listened to before. I don't need to take notes on it, but I want to hear it again. So, again, not time management, but activity management. My suggestion, and one of the suggestions that comes from the book, is set out a list of what you'd like to get done in a day. Instead of making the to-do list, we've all had to-do lists, whether it pops up on your computer in the morning or you have it on a sheet on your desk or your refrigerator or whatever. That to-do list can be a little frightening. A lot of people see that, and at the end of the day, they maybe, if they're lucky, scratched 1 or 2 things off, and they feel like a failure because they didn't get the entire list done. I'll bet you anything that if you had redone the list in a better way, you'd end up your day feeling pretty good about yourself. What Matt discusses in the book is making a to-do list with priorities. The really important things that you really, really need to get done today are part of your A list. If it's something that you'd like to get done today, but if it waited till tomorrow or the next day, you put that in your B list. And don't ever load up one of those sections to the point that you can't get it all done. Then you make a C list. This is really stuff that could probably wait till next week or, the following week. And you keep cutting through this stuff. And somehow when it's a list of the things you want to get done rather than things that you have to get done, it feels a little less pressure filled and you're more likely to do it. And I've started to do that in my life, even if it's just a household thing. Like today I'm going to go to my son's basketball practice. I'm going to make sure I'm back to the house in time to do that. And I'm going to do 4 loads of clothes and cut a video and write an e-zine article. Terrific. What do I do with that list? What's most important? In my book, my son's basketball practice is most important because he's my baby and he's most important. Next, definitely my video and my e-zine article because that's my business, and if I'm absent, nothing's happening. And then the clothes. All right, if the clothes wait till tomorrow, my son's 14. He's got to start learning. He can wash his own shorts. But again, it's the kind of thing that any of us can do and take a little bit of pressure off just by the mindset of it. So I invite you to try that. Tweak it a little bit. If it doesn't quite work for you, mess around with it. But try to get away from the to-do list that can seem a little frightening. Make it a little easier on yourself. And you'll finish your day feeling like you accomplished something and you won't feel like, so overwhelmed. So with that, I'm going to end up for the evening.